The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL, but you are welcome and urged to like and share them on Facebook. It's time now for the Sue-Ellensanders Show. And your host, of course, is none other than the one and the only Sue-Ellensanders.
Welcome to the Sue-Ellensanders Show. And I have two young ladies on the show with me today from the St. Lucie County School District. And they have jobs that sound like they might be a little bit similar, but they are as different as night and day, and they work with two completely different programs. Michelle Jerger is the director of student assignment for St. Lucie schools, and if you have a child in the school district, you've probably seen her name on a lot of different things. So when I met her, I said, I don't know your face, but I know your name. And she says, oh yeah, everybody blames me for everything. Welcome. And Cassandra Velasquez is the program specialist with the VPK program. So Michelle works with a team who takes care of assigning the students to the different schools, and we'll be talking about that in just a few minutes. And Cassandra is a specialist with the VPK program. Now, that is the pre-kindergarten program that is open, and the enrollment starts this month, correct?
Yes, correct. We have enrollment this month on February 16th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
So the enrollment for it are on specific days, and
Yes.
the people need to be prepared to come on those days. It's not just open enrollment where they can enroll on any day. Now, VPK is the special program that prepares the children for entering kindergarten. You
Correct.
want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, VPK is voluntary pre-kindergarten. It's a program that the state of Florida has for all children the year before they go to kindergarten. Specifically in the public schools, though, we have a VPK Title I program. So VPK that the state funds is 540 hours of instruction the year before kindergarten. Many of times that's divided into a school year, 180 days equaling 3 hours of free instruction a day for a school year.
So
But
you're
in
looking at like a morning
Yes.
of pre-K.
Yes, but in the public schools, because of Title I, we have a VPK Title I program. So we have a limited number of spots. So we don't have spots for every child in St. Lucie County. But it is full day. We follow the same hours of the school that the program is in. And we have, bachelor's degree or higher teachers and an assistant in each classroom.
And the reason that is helpful for the families that qualify under Title I, of course, is because they need that free childcare that's all day, and they need that extra leg up as a Title I recipient.
Correct. Yes, we have the full instructional day for those children.
So that other families who want their child to be part of a pre-K program, what is the route that they take?
Okay.
If you're not Title I.
Okay, so for VPK in general, if a parent wants a private provider or Head Start, they would apply for the VPK certificate from the state, and that application is actually done online. And even if they want the public school program, they need to fill out this application online at www.familyservices.floridaearlylearning.com, and they'll see a selection for VPK, and they go through an online application. Once they get their VPK certificate, they would bring that certificate to a private provider or a Head Start program. However, if they're interested in the public school program, they can't just come walking into us on the 15th, 16th, 20th, 21st, or 22nd. They need to make an appointment to come in, and those appointments are also done online. So the easiest way for a family to find the information about the public schools VPK Title I program is to go to the school district's website at www.stlucieschools.org and look for announcements. And under announcements, they'll see VPK registration, apply, make an appointment now, And when they click on that, it brings them to our pre-K page where they'll be able to open our flyer and they'll see the steps to register. That first step being going to the website to apply for the certificate from the state. Then they'll see step 2, which is a link to go online to make an appointment for one of our registration days. And step 3 will show them everything they need to bring with them to their appointment. And the appointments are actually taking place at our temporary district location where I am located at Parkway Elementary. So that's all in step 3 with everything they'll need to bring, including their child, to their appointment to register.
What if they don't have access to a computer?
We get that a lot. The state had moved to an online portal a couple years ago where instead of going face-to-face to get your certificate, parents do have to go online. And they also have to upload a proof of birth and a proof of address into that online application. So a lot of people have cell phones nowadays, smartphones. Right. I find a majority of people are using their smartphones to actually just complete that application online. But if you don't have access to a smartphone or a computer, the Early Learning Coalition has a computer and scanner set up at their also temporary office. They were moved since the storms, just as the school district was, where they could go and complete the process there for the online application and also make their appointment, or the local library.
Yes, the library does have a bank of computers at each of their branch offices, and I see people there all the time using those computers. And so they could go into the library or go into the Early Learning Coalition office and use the computer there, or even if you don't have a computer, the chances are pretty good that you do have a smartphone, and they could go online with a smartphone. At the Early Learning Coalition, do they have people that will also assist them? Because for some people it may not be, especially if they're English is not their first language, it may not be so easy for them to figure out how to upload the documents that they need.
Absolutely. Yes, they do have staff that will assist them. And I know the process can seem tedious, but we don't want families, the state doesn't want families to be discouraged. So if for some reason a family is having difficulty, definitely reach out, contact us, and we will help them figure it out and get it done.
So you can walk them through it.
Absolutely. And sometimes this morning we had Linda Tapia in Title I had a family come in and she helped walk them through it. We will help families get what they need.
So all of you, what are the departments that are located at Parkway right now?
We actually just relocated yesterday, so I'm not 100%.
Okay.
But our early childhood department and our Title I department are there, as well as some other departments.
And for anyone who needs to be part of the help that is offered for the Early Learning Coalition, that would be at Parkway.
The Early Learning Coalition has their own office in St. Lucie West. I can give you that address. It's 584 Northwest University Boulevard, Suite 350. And it's across from the Met Stadium there. And their phone number is 772-595-6424.
And if you need assistance, computer and assistance, and you want to be walked through, and you don't contact the Title I department or the VPK department that's at Parkway, the folks at Early Learning Coalition at St. Lucie West can help you with that. Now, before we move any farther along, I know plans are in place. When we talk about the different locations and everybody being spread out in different locations, I know that it's frustrating for people who are listening, or parents of children that want to be part of the school district or that currently are, to try to figure out where everybody is located. And so the best way to, is to call or to double check before you show up to meet with someone where their location is. And of course, plans are in place to move to a temporary housing situation where you all are back together for the most part, correct?
Well, there's a portion of departments that are actually located at an annex building off of University Boulevard. So personnel student assignment, payroll. We are all located off of University Boulevard, just down the street from the Early Learning Coalition. We're on Northwest University, just east of the stadium. So we've collectively, instead of every department being at a different school, we have brought more departments together.
So they're hubs now.
They're hubs.
Basically,
Exactly.
you have more hubs that are working together, and
Exactly.
you know, and you can imagine it's just as frustrating for the school district employees that are used to being able to walk down the hall to somebody to
Oh yeah, we
in
really
another
miss each
department.
other. It's so funny when we
Yeah.
see each other in passing, and it's so used to being able to just walk down the hall and ask for what you need or take a parent down to the hall. But these hubs are really helping, and all the locations for each department is listed on our website, and it's on that main page. It's about middle ways on the main page for the school district's website.
And well, I'll do a show later this year because things are changing pretty rapidly as far as the St. Lucie School District having a permanent home where everybody in the family is back together
Yeah.
again.
Well, we're excited
And
about
we'll
the
get-
changes. We're
yeah.
really excited about it, and we're looking forward to coming back together as one full family.
So we'll talk more about the new district headquarters and where that's going to be located as those plans get more detailed and released to the public. But right now we do know that it's going to be in the PGA area, the new location. And I can possibly get the director of facilities and maybe the superintendent to come and give us a little bit more information about that as we move farther on. So we'll look at that. That'll be down the line. But right now, just to know that, we're out of the school district. I say we because as a teacher, I feel like I'm part of the family too. They're not located anymore at the Orange Blossom Center because it just doesn't make sense to repair that just to have another hurricane come along again. And so you have the hubs that are set up and people can reach you. Best way is to either call, get information on where you need to be located, where the place you need to reach is located, or look on the website and that's got all the information.
Absolutely. Has
So-
every department.
So sorry,
location.
didn't mean to go off on a tangent there, but Cassandra, as a program specialist with VPK, their program is located at Parkway Elementary in the annex area there.
Yes. So we have a separate entrance. Parents don't go through the main office at Parkway Elementary. But again, if parents are looking for help, they definitely need to call and schedule a time to come in because
Right.
it's not set up right now just for people to come walking up to the campus.
Right, because of campus security. And so
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly, I think I went there for an insurance appointment, and it's just on the north end of the campus when you get there. But when you call and make an appointment for one of those days to come in and to meet with you all about the VPK program, and you'll have all your information that's ready to go, then they'll also give you directions on how to get in. So, the VPK program is something that has been mandated by the state for some years now. And we were talking on the phone, Cassandra, about the importance of VPK and the fact that in the past, when pre-kindergarten was only available for parents and their kids that could afford to pay for some type of pre-K, it didn't give everybody an equal playing field for being prepared for entering kindergarten. And how long ago was it? It's been a number of years now that VBK has been set up through the state. It was a state mandate.
I want to say it's about 11 years
Yes,
this
so
year. And it's a voluntary program that the state has funded for the past 11 years for all students the year before kindergarten.
And let's talk for just a few minutes, if you don't mind, about why it's important for the children to be coming to some type of program, even on a part-time basis, before they reach kindergarten?
Well, really, to ensure that the kids are ready for kindergarten, the first 5 years of a child's life are crucial for the child's ability to eventually learn to read and write. Early on, a child's relationship with books and connecting with reading and reading activities is really important to their later success. So being able to, as a parent, from birth to kindergarten, really interact with your child, talk, read, preparing them, exposing them to language. But on top of that, by putting them in a program, especially if they've never been anywhere before they're 4 years old, prior to entering kindergarten, really helps to give them the social skills that they need to be able to interact and learn with others. In a classroom with a VPK program, 19 other kids, 20 kids total in a classroom, is way different from maybe a family situation where a child is interacting with other children.
No,
there's a lot of
Or
social
even the
emotional
daycare.
skills.
My son, even daycare, my son was in a wonderful daycare, was with Miss Hebb, and they spent a lot of time talking to him and teaching him and doing centers, really structured program. But for the summer, I decided to put him into the summer VPK program, and it really made a difference for him, being able to sit in that seat, in that desk, and being still, being focused, knowing that you're at the big kids school now, and the experience of learning how to put in your lunch ID number, just all those little things that we don't think about that just automatically happens when you enter kindergarten. Well, he had a leg up, so it really worked out, and that's when we were offering the summer VPK. That was 8 years ago.
And
Yeah.
also, those are some of the things that you mentioned, but it's amazing how kids at 4 and even 5 years old are so excited to go to school, and they want to be part of the big kids school. But the whole dropping mom or dad, dropping them off and knowing that mom or dad is going to come back for them. And
Or how about when it's rest time? In the public schools, we have a 45-minute rest time where it's the teacher's planning period and the assistants in the classroom, and the kids are laying down resting on their mat. And I always tell teachers, especially in the beginning of the year, think about this child. They're getting dropped off here, some of them for the first time, and they're crying because the lights are getting dimmed. It's getting dark. They don't know that it's not dark outside and mom and dad aren't coming back and that they're sleeping at this place. They don't know that. Just getting them to learn the routine that you get dropped off, or, the bus picks you up and then you come home every day, and getting them really familiar with that so that the nerves aren't there once it's time for kindergarten.
just even the fact that there is a routine.
Exactly.
Routine.
And that you have somebody else's that is equal to your mom or dad that will tell you what to do and is looking out for you, and you form that relationship with the teacher, which is an amazing thing. I still remember taking my son, and he went to a part-time pre-K program, and this was very many years ago, so that would be almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But when he got to kindergarten, he felt like his kindergarten teacher knew so much more than anyone in the world.
Oh, yes.
The sun and the moon hung on his
Whatever that
kindergarten,
teacher
and
says.
he quoted her about everything. And and by the way, I'll mention her name because I'll be talking about her a little later in the program too. Sandy Picano, and when she was at Francis K. Sweet. So to have that relationship and to understand that that person is watching out for you, and to understand that you've got a routine, and that you have the relationships with other kids, and they are equally as important to that teacher as you are. And I know Sandy had also said at the time when I had talked to her when my kids were in kindergarten, and she said that it was she saw some students who were just coming to kindergarten for the first time and had not been any type of pre-K program at all. She felt like some of them took up to 6 months to learn the social expectations and those routines, and to be caught up with the kids who had already been in a pre-K situation.
Yeah. I know, I have a fun fact that I brought for you.
Okay.
Actually, there may be parents listening that their child is not going to be 4 for this school, to be able to go into
Okay.
VPK in August. So they might be wondering, what should I be doing now? Because I really don't, my kid's not going to school maybe before VPK, or maybe my child is going to a preschool. But what should I be doing as a parent? So I brought this fun fact about in the first 3 years of life, 85% of brain growth occurs. And on top of that, babies whose parents frequently talk to them know 300 more words by the age of 2 than babies whose parents really rarely speak to them. So if you are a parent, sing with your child every day. Talk while you're doing everything. You're going to be tired of hearing your voice, but even if your child doesn't talk yet, they're just a baby, talk. Oh, mommy's going to put the laundry in, or daddy's getting dinner ready. I'm driving the car. Oh, the light is red. We're going to stop. When you're at the grocery store, oh, look at these apples. They're red or green, and just talking all day long, because vocabulary and building that in children from even when they're in the womb really is important, because brain connections, so many of them are happening before they're even coming to us in VPK.
And that's something that as a parent, all your life, you may not realize it at first, but you figure it out pretty quickly, that your kids are learning even when you're not trying to teach them.
Yes.
And their eyes are open, they're paying attention, they see what you're saying and what you're doing when you're at the store, and your interaction with the grocery clerk, or talking about the different colors of the fruit, the learning lessons, and the whole reading to children too. There are so many branch libraries here, and the library cards are absolutely free. And if you do have a smartphone or a computer, you can also go online to the libraries and borrow books online as well too, kids books, and there's a ton of them out there. So I know a lot of times people's first priority may not be to purchase books for their kids to read, and especially with little kids, they're outgrowing each stage of the book so quickly that you may not want to spend the money for that, but that's what the library's for.
Well, and with technology, a lot of times now we have it on our iPad or on TV, but it's really important to limit the screen time for children, because children who have lots of exposure to screen versus playing or face-to-face interactions are more likely to have more difficulty sitting still and focusing in a classroom, because it's not a screen that's on all day.
Right.
It's a person and it's interaction.
I didn't think about that. That's a really
they
good
have a hard
point.
time sitting and focusing.
So nothing can replace mom or dad or grandma or your neighbor talking to the kids. And I have this whole issue with parents who talk to their kids in that baby voice and use the baby because if they're learning, don't you want them to go to VPK or kindergarten being able to talk normally and not like a baby?
Yeah.
So so the VPK program, again, it's open now. The enrollment is open now. You do need to go online and set up an appointment for the dates, and the dates are coming up in February.
Let me share my phone number, because I don't think we shared my phone number. We
don't
shared
think
some
we did.
other contact info.
Okay.
So if parents are interested in the public school VPK Title I program, again, our information is on our school district's website under announcements. That's where they can access our flyer and the steps to register. But a lot of people like to just talk to someone and know that they're doing the right steps. So if anyone wants to contact me, Cassandra Velasquez, my work phone number is 772-429-3945. Again, it's 429-3945.
And we'll have that information here at the radio station here during the day. So if you wanted to call, then we'll have Lynette pass along that information. Of course, you can find it on the school website. We're going to switch gears a little bit and talk to Michelle Jerger. Michelle's Director of Student Assignment. And as that Director of Student Assignment, that you're responsible, you and your department, for making sure that every student who is enrolled in St. Lucie County Schools is going to a school that's a good fit for them.
Absolutely. Our focus is on kindergarten through 12th grade, and we ensure that every single child has a school to go to. So we take care of all the different options that are available to parents, whether it is your zone school, whether you're choosing to sign up for home education, whether you're choosing to sign up for charter or to sign up for magnet schools. All of the process starts at student assignment. So if you're ever wondering, how do I get my child into a certain school? Call student assignment. How do I get my child changed from a different school? Call student assignment. What if I want to do this? Call student assignment. Always call us. Don't ever take the word of the person next to you or your neighbor. Call us, because we have the answers, and based off of your situation, we can help you make a decision on what is the right fit for you.
And you do have an enrollment period too, but
Yes.
you do accept people coming in without an appointment to enroll?
That's correct.
Yeah.
We are open from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock, and you can come in anytime. I have staff there. It is 9 of us in that department, and we speak lots of language. So we have Spanish, English, Creole, French, Italian, and Portuguese that we
So
speak.
really just cover all of the bases right there.
Yes. So if you're more comfortable speaking in your native language, we have no problem addressing your concerns as far as assignment is concerned.
So tell us about this assignment period for students that are entering kindergarten through 12th grade.
Okay, so kindergarten, well, let's start with high school, because this
Okay.
is February, and her current 8th graders are about to receive their high school assignments. So high school assignments are based off of where you live. Your zip code determines the school that you get assigned to. So, for example, if I live in zip code 34951, my school is Fort Pierce Westwood. That would be the school that I would be assigned to. Every student that lives in 34951 that is going from the 8th grade to the 9th grade would be assigned to that school. If I lived in 34953 south of Gatlin, then my school is Treasure Coast High School. So every student is going to receive their letter in the mail telling them what their school assignment is in the next few weeks. Then in March, we have kindergarten enrollment, and it is really important that families come and see us in March. We allot the entire month of March open for families to come and see us to get their kindergartners enrolled. Not only are we enrolling kindergartners, but we also are taking care of those rising 6th graders. So if your child is in a school that only goes from K through 5, you need to see student assignment. You need to come and see us between the hours of 8 and 4.
With the elementary schools and with the middle schools, there are a lot of different options, and it's not an automatic, you're assigned to this school if this is your zip code.
Well, that's one of the wonderful things about St. Lucie Public Schools is that we do have options, and within your zone, each student is assigned to a zone, and it's still based off of your zip code, but you may have several options available. You may have 3 schools that you can select from, and what you would do is rank order those schools in the order of your preference. So if I live in Green Zone, Lawnwood, St. Lucie Elementary, C.A. Moore, those may be my schools, and I would rank order those 1 through 3 based off of my preference. And then what we do in student assignment is we take that application, we input your application, and your application is placed in a pool. The great thing about that is that we don't have to have parents camped out in front of our office trying to make sure they're the first one to get their application in. You don't have to do that. You have the entire month of March to work it out to get to student assignment. The person who comes in on March 1st and the person who comes in on March 30th have the exact same opportunity to get a seat at their preferred school.
Well, if that's going on in March, then probably in February would be a good time for you to be visiting some of the different, if you have a child that's getting ready to enter kindergarten or getting ready to enter 6th grade, and your school only goes to 5th grade that you're at, you probably want to spend a little bit of time doing some research on your different options.
Absolutely, absolutely. You should visit our website, the school district's website, so that you can take a look. And at the top part of the tabs, it lists schools. Click on that, and it has all of our schools. It'll take you to give you some general information about the school. And if you want a little more in-depth information, there's a link there to take you to the school's website. So there's lots of information available to families.
And when you get to the school website, you can look at different tabs that are open to the public, look at the different extracurricular activities,
Yes.
if that's what you're excited about, or photos, look at the administrative team, the staff, and you can also...
Mentor programs. Many of our schools have mentor programs, like C.A. Moore has a mentor program with the Boys and Girls Club. There are just many options that are available out there for our families. So
They can also, do you suggest that they call the elementary school and tour?
definitely do your research online first, and because we are still in school and we don't want to disrupt our students. But yes, if you feel that you need that opportunity to see the school and to get a feel for the school, or speak to someone at the school to find out what are your programs, definitely give them a call and they will work something with you.
You know, sometimes as a parent, you just kind of get a feeling when you go somewhere where you know where it's a good fit or not. You know, you can just...
You know, I'm so glad that you said that, because we'll have a lot of parents that will say, well, I just moved here and my neighbor told me that I need to go to this school and this is the school I have to go to. And, you know, you just moved here. Your neighbor doesn't know your child.
Exactly.
You know your
Yes.
child. You know what your child needs. You know where their strengths are. You know that one little thing, and what was right for your neighbor's child may not be right for you. So always, you know, come to student assignment, ask us. We can give you some wonderful points of pride that we can tell you about the different schools. You can go to the school, visit the website, get your own information, and then, okay, look at what your neighbor said may be a good school. But
And many of the schools have brochures too,
Yes, ma'am.
that you could you know, get a chance to talk to some people. And what you said rings so true, and because even when my kids were first starting school, it was like, okay, these are the schools that you want to go to, and these are not so much. But again, they didn't know my children, and
Right.
and this, what was a good fit for their child might not be a good fit for my child. And in today's school district, especially here in St. Lucie County, there are so many different options, so many different
Absolutely.
types of
And
programs.
we have great schools in St. Lucie County. We have really great schools. We have teachers that are genuinely committed to ensuring that every child and each child is successful.
The other thing I think that is really neat about the school district website is that you can go on there and you can sign up for Lucy Link, the newsletter that's got all the information about what all the different schools are doing. And
Oh, yeah.
that's kind of like a vision of what the different schools are doing. And you know, you may see one school with a choir, with a chorus that, you know, and you know that your kid really likes to sing,
Right.
or you may see another one that has a before school chess club, and you've been trying to teach your kid how to play chess and you'd really like somebody else to do that instead. Or different types of gifted programs. The programs vary.
You know, St. Lucie Public Schools is definitely on the cutting edge as far as looking at new programs and technology to bring into the school district and to our students. We are really moving forward. Our graduation rates have just soared. So we're just so excited about that. And, I would tell my parents that are listening is if you're saying, well, I'm not really sure what I want to do, don't wait till July and August to come see me in student assignment. Because that's when you're saying, oh, I went to student assignment and the line was out the door. You can take care of August enrollment in March.
And
March
you'll
is
get
important.
an opportunity to do a little bit of research and see what's a good fit
Exactly.
for your child. And one of
Exactly.
the first things when people ask me, just as a school district employee, where they think is a good school, I say, well, what does your son and daughter like to do? And
Exactly.
because if you don't know that information, then you can't hit their hot buttons.
Right.
And especially as your child gets older, having something that is near and dear to them, that wakes them up in the morning, that gets them to school every day. It may not be math or English.
That's
It
correct.
may be
It
something.
may be the chess club.
Yeah, but whatever works.
Right.
Michelle Jerger is been my guest, and she's the director of student assignment. We're going to just give some more information about how to contact her, her department. Of course, you can go online, look at all the opportunities in the different schools online, and they can also contact your office, which is in St. Lucie West.
Yes, we are actually at the Annex building. It's 501 Northwest University Boulevard. So it's as if you're turning into IRSC, but we're in that little roundabout.
Okay, and people can also call and get directions, or look on the website and get directions. February is the month to be signing up for high school.
We're automatically assigning all
So
high
you'll
school
get the
students.
assignments.
You'll get those in a couple of weeks.
And if you you'll be watching the mail for that information, and then if you're elementary school or going into middle school, you will have some choices that you can make. So you can be
Absolutely.
doing your research. We're going to take a quick break. If you're listening to the show on Saturday, this is it for you. And you want to
IRSC
hear
basketball coming
Yeah,
up. But we have a Monday bonus piece, right?
Yeah, we have a bonus piece if you're listening on Monday, and we'll be right back with more for that. Otherwise, go IRSC.
Celebrating 25 years and counting. WPSL Port St. Lucie, AM 1590. And worldwide on WPSL.com, webcaster to the world. Okay.
Question: if they're assigned to Port St. Lucie High because there's a club they want to go to another school, do you want to get into that at all, or do you?
We can touch base on that
Okay.
real
Yeah.
lightly because
Sure.
that doesn't really happen until May. But yeah, we can give them
Okay.
that information.
Okay, so but you can say that you check it. Like if I remember, you had to have a certain program.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, it's curriculum transfer,
Okay.
and it's harder now because most of our programs are at all the schools.
Yeah, and you can say that too.
Yeah.
And that also, to give the school a chance. If your first impression is,
Absolutely.
before you've even been there, that this is not going to work for my child, then, why don't you wait and see what happens when your child goes there?
Absolutely. Wait for that open house. At least go to that open
Yeah.
house, get a
Yeah.
feel for what it
And
is.
check it out. Okay, so
this
that's
gonna
where
be-
we're going to go.
8 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay.
And in the last minute, when we get down to that last, just about hit the 50-second mark at the end, you'll hear the music when we have our final 60 seconds.
Okay.
We can tag
Okay.
it right out to the end.
Okay, and then so we'll go mostly talking about that, and then before we close, we'll just hit back again on the two different types of programs that we've talked about today, and what the enrollment periods are for both of them. Okay?
Sounds good.
We're real good on time.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Stand by to stand by. And now that Monday night bonus segment of the Sue Ellen Sanders Show. So let's get back with Sue Ellen Sanders.
Welcome back. We're talking to Michelle Jerger. She is Director of Student Assignment for the St. Lucie Schools. And also Cassandra Velasquez. She's a program specialist for VBK, which is Voluntary Pre-Kindergarten Program. And Cassandra, we had talked earlier about the enrollment period, which are specific days for the voluntary pre-K. And, I don't want to mix people up when they're listening on the radio, but the specific February dates, again, are people have to set up an appointment to come to see you.
Yes, they need to do that now, set up an appointment. And those appointments are taking place on February 15th, 16th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So now is the time to make that appointment, but the appointments will take place then.
And you have to go online to make the appointment.
You do.
And
yes.
you also have to go online to upload certain information and to get all of the information that you need to bring to that appointment.
Yes, they have to apply for a VPK certificate from the Office of Early Learning.
And bring that to
That will
your
be, yes,
appointment.
one of the items needed.
So that's important to know. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, all that information is available online at St. Lucie Schools, it's really a fabulous website. It's got all the information, everything you need to know. And the other thing that before the show we had talked about it, I had mentioned Lucy Link getting the information, because you can be part of that newsletter. You can receive that newsletter information even before your child is part of the school system, or maybe you're new moving to town, or you're moving from one school to another. Right. The rising sixth graders, for example. And this way you can find out what's going on with the school that you're planning on going to, or make a decision if you have a situation like in elementary school where you have a choice. But another great place, and we have all this social media out there now. St. Lucie Schools has a Twitter account.
Facebook.
And they have a Facebook account.
Yes.
So you can like them and get information sent to you, and be knowledgeable about what's going on in St. Lucie Schools.
Yeah, our children are doing so many great things out there, and that's a great platform for us to share it.
It is. So Michelle Jerger, who's also with us as Director of Student Assignment, we did not mention the magnet schools. You mentioned February is the month that you will be receiving your assignment for high schools, and then March is the time where you find out what zone you're in, or you can find out what zone you are in now, and then you get to rank your top 3 of the elementary schools in your zone.
Yes, but we have some families that when their child was born, they were so excited about this child getting an education, they've come into student assignment and placed them on a waiting list for some of our magnet schools. So the waiting list would have been either Fairlawn, Francis K. Sweet, Lincoln Park Academy. So we have started sending the letters out for those students who are high enough on the list to get into those magnet schools. But we also have 3 new magnet schools that are coming in August. So we're excited about that also.
And we're going to be getting lots more information about those new programs that are coming up. And if you've been watching the news, it's the Fort Pierce Magnet School and Westwood and
Samuel Gaines.
Samuel Gaines are all going to be, would you say, magnetized? Become magnet programs.
Yes, they are going to be transformed into new, innovative magnet programs, magnet schools. Yes.
And I know first on the list, I know they're already making all sorts of plans for the School of the Arts, and so this is something that we talked earlier in the show about. Whatever gets your kid excited, whatever gets your kid happy to get up in the morning and get to school. And a lot of times that may not be the academics that are important for them to focus on. But when they're in school, because they're there because of chess club or because of baseball or
the arts.
Or dance, theater, any of those magnet type programs, vet tech, or whatever gets them there and gets them excited while they're there. They're going to work hard in English and in math and in science and in social studies to be a well-rounded student so they can get their favorite stuff.
Yes, this is a really exciting time to have your child in St. Lucie Public Schools. Mr. Jen is just doing so many wonderful things to bring the programs and looking at doing things differently. Yeah.
We talked earlier in the show, too, about the importance of the personalized education.
Yes.
That not just saying, okay, so what's the best school in town? Well, there is no best school. There are lots of best schools. And it would depend on what is a good fit for your child.
Absolutely. When parents come to see me and they find out that they didn't get their school of choice, the first choice they didn't get, maybe they got their third, fourth, maybe even their last choice. And when I really start talking to the families, what I find out is they just don't have enough information about that school. This is the school they knew about. This is the program that they knew about. Once we actually get the families to go visit the school, or have the principal actually have a conversation with us, because principals are willing to tell you everything that's going on at their school. Once you have that opportunity to talk to those principals, visit the campus, I rarely have any parent that comes back and say, I can't do it.
And once you get your child to visit too and become a part of that school environment and see what's out there, we were talking about the arts. I know that some of the schools, one of the sad parts about the direction that schools in general have taken is cutting back arts programs. And for St. Lucie's County schools to step forward and increase arts programs with the grants that they've received, that's tremendous.
Yeah, and we have some schools that just really stand out. Port St. Lucie High and their drama department has just done wonderful things. I don't know if you ever had a chance to attend one of their summer programs, but they do some wonderful work out there.
My son graduated Port St. Lucie High, and he moved there from Lincoln Park Academy after middle school for the drama program.
So from experience as a parent,
so
there's some wonderful things.
and I was a drama mama from the time that he started doing the program, and he loved it, and he loved that better than anything else. So my point is that there's a good fit for everyone, for every child.
And we have plenty of schools to take care of every student.
We personalize your education through the St. Lucie School District. You can find it all online at stlucieschools.org. Friend them on Facebook, look for them on Twitter, or call them. We have all the information here too with the phone numbers, and we'll pass that along to you. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you back here next week with more.
You've been listening to the Sue-Ellen-Sanders Show. Whether it's Saturday at 11:05 a.m. or maybe Monday evening or something, you'll always find it right here on WPSL AM 1590 and WPSL.com on the World Wide Web. The Sue-Ellen-Sanders Show. Produced in the studios, WPSL archives can be found on WPSLTV.com.